When I came, I saw so many bodies. And I said to myself, I survived the gas chamber. I mustn't stay here and end my life like these bodies. No, I must live.
Ella Blumenthal has lived through one of history's darkest chapters. At the age of 101, she is South Africa's oldest living Holocaust survivor. Now her extraordinary story of defying death time and time again has been documented.
Why was I chosen?
In an award-winning documentary by a team of South African filmmakers that recounts her harrowing journey from the Warsaw Ghetto to 3 concentration camps in Nazi-occupied Poland during the Second World War to present-day Cape Town.
No, you can wear the jacket, you can wear the
Give it to me, not Dior.
It's not Dior, yeah, it's not Chanel.
Meeting Ella, it's easy to see why she's so remarkable. Even in her twilight years, her zest for life is infectious. The only thing that gives away her age is a slight hearing problem. But her eye for style is still spot on, decades after a long career in fashion. Ella was born in Warsaw, Poland in 1921, the youngest of 7 children.
What was it like growing up in Poland?
I was naughty. My teacher was wearing a wig.
Yeah.
I got somebody to put off the lights. I pulled off a wig, yeah.
Oh, you were a naughty girl.
Then the war broke out. And one by one, 23 members of her family were murdered by the Nazis. Only Ella and her niece Roma eventually survived. From 1943 to 1945, they were sent to 3 Nazi death camps, Majdanek, Auschwitz, and Bergen-Belsen.
Middle of the night, it was so quiet, you could hear nothing. We were ordered to get into a bathhouse, but it wasn't a bathhouse. It was a gas chamber. We realized that the gas was going to come down any minute, and we knew that that's just a little bit time for us to stay alive.
But then they didn't gas you. What happened?
I was holding my niece's hand, and I was whispering, "Don't be afraid. It won't even hurt, and it won't take long. We will soon get together with our loved ones." At this very moment, the heavy doors opened, and an assessment walked in. "Ruhe, quiet. You are not going to be gassed." We couldn't believe it.
Looking at these pictures of Ella's life, it's impossible to imagine the torture, trauma, and immense loss that she endured behind these smiling eyes.
I Am Here is a portrait of Ella's survival and tells the story she kept close to her heart for more than 7 decades.
From the time that I knew that she had had this trauma in her life, I had this intense desire to protect her and to prevent her having to undergo any further trauma.
Dr. Evelyn Kaplan is the youngest of Ella's 4 children.
As a small child, I remember her screaming at night and me running to her and saying, "Are you all right?" And she would scream, "They're taking my children." And I said, "But I'm here." And she had the scar on her arm. She said she'd had an accident. And then as I got older, it became apparent what had happened.
The scar hid a tragic secret, her concentration camp number.
How do you forgive the unforgivable? How do you move past unimaginable trauma? These are questions Ella has asked herself for decades, but she has found it in her heart to forgive and has made it her mission to bring peace and healing to the world.
In April 1945, Ella, Roma, and hundreds of thousands of other Jews were finally liberated.
The British tanks came in with the soldiers on it, shouted, "You are liberated, you are free."
The pair moved to Paris soon after, where Ella worked in a somewhat unkosher profession as a smuggler of diamonds and foreign currency for some wealthy Jewish businessmen.
If I would have been caught, I would have been in prison.
2 years later, she joined Roma in Tel Aviv, where she met her future husband, Isaac. They were married after just 13 days and relocated to Johannesburg's East Rand shortly after. There, she had 4 children and opened a successful clothing store in Brakpan, specializing in women's fashion. No wonder she's given me fashion tips. But despite rebuilding a beautiful new life for herself, Ella chose to bury her past.
I had a number here, can you see?
Yes.
As soon after I arrived, my husband's family told me, "You should try and forget your terrible time in the ghettos. You should have it removed." I didn't want to remember. I came out of hell.
Do you remember
With a white few German commandants of them, and among them was Mengele, the angel of death.
In 2004, she returned to Poland for the first time and revisited the place she was condemned to death, Auschwitz.
We walked in there with the barracks with it. And the smell of the burning feathers from the beddings.
Almost 2 decades later, her story is finally being shared with the world. I Am Here was released internationally last year. The filmmakers say audiences have resonated with Ella's larger-than-life personality and her resilience.
Be shot first before my father was standing next to me.
It's not a film that's only for audiences who have a connection to the Holocaust. This is a film for each one of us, and specifically in the South African context, who have a history of trauma, a history of discrimination, and can resonate with the way that Ella has overcome this in her way.
In the face of unfathomable hate, Ella has gone on to live a life of happiness, tolerance, and forgiveness.
The hate, that's what kills us. Does religion or color, doesn't matter. We all got the same blood, so let's live in peace.